Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. And apologies for my absence yesterday. We were having a bit of a family drama, a rather sad situation, a health situation that has got quite serious. And so I have Tess back with me. Tess will be back here permanently, so she's attending as I'm doing these readings today. Light-hearted readings, and need to lift the energy a bit, just for all of our sakes here, including Tess's. And so we're going to look at two very silly people today and two very silly scenarios. And the first scenario involves the fabulous, some might say, not me, but some might say fabulous wedding spectacle in Venice. Of course, Jeff Bezos and what's her face, I can't even think of her name right now, but they got married at vast expense and to great display in Venice, and everybody was there except Meghan. Ari Emanuel was there, her agent Edward Enninful was there, Orlando Bloom, not Katy Perry. Some of the Kardashians were there, Ted Sarandos and his wife were there, Oprah and Gail were there, Nonu was there, but not Meghan. I have the Tinseltown Tarot on the tarot table for this little reading. We're going to ask how she felt, because according to Angela Levin, Meghan was very, very angry at not being invited. So we're going to test this, and we are going to ask her expectations. Did she expect to be invited? Her feelings at not being invited. Is she in a bit of a panic about being cut out of the A-list because she's never been invited to the Met Gala? There was a thing just in the past few weeks, a brand launch or something that everybody was at, all those women that she hangs out with, that she's had on her podcast, even Abigail Spencer was there, not Meghan. And we're going to ask how the A-list feel about her presence at things. We're not going to bother with the has-been, because I don't think it's got anything to do with him. But can you imagine 5 years ago when they exited, they would have been first in line, they would have been the big prize at an event like that. Not even invited. There she is. That's her card, the strength card, that's her brand. Sussex. It used to be Sussex Royal, now it's just Sussex. The Twinkles, of course, now they are known as in Sun Quarters. So let's remind you, it's tarot and it's for fun and entertainment, and it is all my opinion and all speculation. And of course, I just read energy here, and there is a disclaimer in the box below. Tinseltown Tarot, Meghan not invited. All her best friends were, her most important people were. Fool. Supposed to be a fresh start and enthusiasm and, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and off to seek your fortune in the Fool position in the tarot, start of the major arcana, start of a new cycle, and with all that enthusiasm and naivety and all of that stuff. That, for me as an energy reader, is Meghan's energy when she set off to California, dragging the has-been along with her. She expected the red carpet to be rolled out. She expected Oscar invitations. Never been one. She expected to win an Emmy and a Grammy and a this thing and a that thing. What's that thing when you get the Emmy and the Grammy and the Oscar and the Tony? She didn't think that she was going to be sitting at home sprinkling dead flowers over things while everyone else was in Venice, having a fine old timed foam parties and you name it, it was happening. Can't imagine anything worse myself, but that is just me, the party pooper. So there it is, the Fool. Let's also add that the Fool sometimes is just a fool, and I think we have that energy too in this underlying energy. So situation, being left out. And we have the Seven of Swords, and it's in reverse. It's the card of shenanigans and skullduggery, and ghosting and mexiting and doing things that aren't necessarily regarded as that ethical or that in integrity. She speaks a lot about being authentic. I could say, and I am saying, that that Seven of Swords for me reads as the card of being inauthentic. That's, of course, my energy take on it and my personal opinion. Card in reverse is interesting because it's being exposed for that. Fool, look at her. She was all glamorous. She was in her important little suit in pink, the very sweet colour. All sugar and spice and all things nice, being dropped at the bus stop on her way to Hollywood. A very well cut suit, very well dressed. She looked so elegant. She looked well pressed and well presented. And then we get the Seven of Swords in reverse, exposed for what she really is. Possibly that's me and my energy reading. So let's see her expectations of being invited. This has been the talk of Tinseltown for ages. She knew she wasn't going to get the nod, the star in reverse. She knew. Maybe she was told via a star. And the one that springs to mind is Oprah or even Gayle King, because it's the card of Aquarius, the star. And Oprah is an Aquarian and it's in reverse. So she might have heard quite early on that she was not going to be invited, because we never heard any of that manifesting stuff, that the will they won't they stuff that we normally hear. For instance, we heard at the famous Beckham Peltz wedding, and right until the day or almost the hour when the bride arrived, we were getting the manifesting from Meghan. It's been silent. There's been no what will Meghan be wearing, what, who and where and why and how, and none of that stuff. It's been dead quiet. She knew. Star in reverse is despair, is fading hope, is losing all your star power. Big cards showing up, and we've got major arcana in the table. This is a big deal. This is the who's in and who's out, as far as Tinseltown is concerned, and not only Tinseltown, because of course Jeff Bezos has connections that aren't only Tinseltown. He even knows astronauts. Ho ho. So now I'm going to laugh at my own lame joke. But anyway, this is a big deal. This, as I say, this is a sign to everyone else who thinks there's something in those elevated circles, whether it's in entertainment circles or business or whatever, space colonization, that Meghan is persona non grata. We're going to check that, of course, in this reading. Let's ask how she felt when she realized she was not going to be invited. We already have the star in reverse, so we know. But what else have we got? The Hanged Man. She feels she's being unfairly punished. It is the card of punishment, of being singled out for some sort of victimization and punishment. I think she thinks that she's being singled out. I don't think she would believe it was because of her own wrongdoing. And here we have a card of wrongdoing, the Seven of Swords. I believe that she's justifying it to herself as, oh, well, the royals prevented them, because of course we've also seen royal adjacency very recently with old friends of the Parkles, like the Beckhams, knighted, Idris Elba making a documentary with the king. Who else? There were the Clooneys, who were at some shindig at Buckingham Palace just a couple of days ago. She, I think, is going to rationalize this, because it's the card of perspective, the Hanged Man. As you're hanging there in suspended disbelief, we can even say, she's going to justify it as the royals are running interference and telling people, giving them ultimatums. You must choose. You can't invite the most famous and the most popular and the most beautiful Princess Meghan in the world if you want to have anything to do with us royals. I think that's how she's going to rationalize it to herself. As I say, another major arcana, card of perspective, card of kind of revelation, even as you're dangling there, as you're in limbo, as you're being sacrificed. She believes that she is being sacrificed. The royals could continue to have these star connections and can continue to feel that they are top, because Meghan, of course, would outshine them all if she was just given half a chance. So I think that's what's going on. It's quite weird energy, but it makes sense to me in a weird way, as she did eventually start to make sense to me along the way in a kind of weird way. So that is, of course, my speculation and my opinion. Let's ask if she's in a bit of a panic about being iced out from this top tier of celebrity, and iced out over a long period. She's really struggling to get any connections. Queen of Swords in reverse. That's a vicious energy. It's a cold and ruthless energy. Again, I'm getting this notion that she's pointing the finger of blame over the Atlantic towards Buckingham Palace, and probably Prince William even more than the King. I would say it's a very savage card, the Queen of Swords, when it's in reverse, because it's ruthless, it's calculating. It can miscalculate because it lacks that empathetic insight that other queens would have more of. And it only sees things in terms of strategy and calculation and what is going on in life as a chessboard, not life as something that's more messy and more complex. Or not that chess isn't complex, but more blurred edges, not those neat and tidy little black and white squares. So I think that she is pointing the finger of blame. I also think that she's strategizing, that she's got her team with her and she's trying her best to outmaneuver what she thinks is happening and to try and save the situation. The Queen of Swords is very, very intelligent, very shrewd when it's upright. When it's in reverse, it can think it's very intelligent and very shrewd, but be quite mistaken. And I think that's where we are. I think that is the message that I'm getting energy-wise from these cards. So let's see how on the other side of the coin, how do these top-tier celebrities and business people and agents and astronauts feel about Meghan being in their midst? How would they have felt? Let's say, hypothetically, Tess is snoring. She's having a big sleep. If you can hear snoring in the background, that's what's going on. How would they have felt about Meghan actually being there? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. They wouldn't have wanted it. The Queen of Pentacles always, for me, jumps straight to Catherine, the Princess of Wales. I think that plenty of them, if you asked them, if you did a sort of straw poll, as you were in the foam party, would have said, if you choose between Meghan Markle and Catherine, who would you choose? They'd say Catherine. That's who we stand with. Even though we had some silly ones like Blake Lively when the great disappearance happened at the beginning of 2024, saying, jumping on the bandwagon and saying nasty things. I think the vast majority of them would actually back the monarchy, would back the Princess of Wales, who is the future queen, all things going according to plan. There she is, and she's in reverse. They believe that it would send a very negative signal to the monarchy. It would be supporting the wrong side and all of that. And I think they view her as disruptive, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. They don't view her as authentic. Because if you were going to ask who is authentic in the tarot, in the female energy spectrum of tarot, the Queen of Pentacles probably right at the top. And like we've got inauthenticity with the Seven of Swords in reverse there for me as at an energy level, this Queen of Pentacles is inauthentic when it's in reverse. She's pretending, she's posturing, she's claiming to be something that she is not, a successful business person, a homemaker, someone who understands her way around a kitchen and a garden, a good mother, somebody who's raising children beautifully, all of that stuff, somebody who's a loyal and supported wife. She's pretending to be all of these things, but she's not. And even these people, tacky and trashy as they are, in my opinion, can see it and don't want to be associated with it. That is how this is reading for me. So our Fool set off on her big adventure, but she's ended up the Hanged Man, the Star in reverse, the Queen of Swords in reverse, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and seen by all the world, Seven of Swords in reverse, for what she really is. That's how I'm seeing it anyway, in my opinion. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again on the next one.